It's like he's already done with it. So it's like, then I forget to watch it. So I got to watch the whole first season all over again.
Who are you talking to?
You.
Oh, that was weird. I thought you were talking to somebody else. We have a guest on today.
Times 2.
She's
the second time.
Yeah, a return guest. She's a powerhouse. She makes amazing designs. Including, if you guys have seen our Duck Duck Grey Duke logo, she's the creator of that, as well as our
I love that picture. That is my favorite.
Which that was Witzel's idea. It was to get
Really?
Yeah.
Nice, Witzel. That was a fun one to do.
And it looks so good, printed huge. That's the thing.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Mackenzie McCann.
Oh, hi. Thanks. Thank you for having me for a second time.
Things have changed. There's far less farts.
Yeah.
That's an improvement.
It is. Yeah.
It's a lot more structure.
I didn't notice our guest yesterday when he was burping, he turned his head and I'm like, thank goodness we're done with the burping in the mic too.
That definitely happened
Alex
the
and
first
I
time I was here.
We still burp into microphones.
Well, that's your dude show.
Dude, absolutely.
Last time though, you came to my parents' farm.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
a lot different. This is the first time I'm here in your fancy studio, which is cool.
That was so fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Hearing the goats do the gummy thing on the railing.
Yeah,
Which,
she still does that.
If people don't know, so that episode is on our old SoundCloud, which is shameful. But
I tried to find it on Spotify to show my boyfriend the other day, and I was like, it's not even here. What the heck?
It's on stupid
Definitely.
SoundCloud.
How do you get it on
I gotta
iTunes
download all the episodes. There's like
Apple?
40 fucking episodes that I have to download and bring them over, so it's a pain in the ass. Anyways, would you mind explaining for the audience what it is that these goats do? Well, first of all, your parents own a goat farm.
Yes. My dad is a goat farmer out in Malacca, Minnesota. They raise alpine dairy goats, and they're milking goats. Pretty big, beautiful animals. But a couple of them have some funny little weird quirks and habits. They all have different personalities, but one in particular, actually a couple of them, like I think her daughter too, likes to rub her gums on the metal gates, and because goats don't have top teeth on the
Oh, that's
front.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. They any ruminants actually. You'll learn something today. Cows, sheep, deer, they do not have top front teeth. So it's just a gum, like a rough pad. And they like to, rub their gums and go like on the metal gates. And they'll just sit there and do it for like, I want to say hours, but it's probably more like minutes. But it sometimes feels like hours when you're sitting outside listening to it. But it's really hilarious.
That was so funny. I remember you telling us about that, and then there was like a quiet moment, and then we heard the
That's so funny. I remember that.
I probably have a video of it and I could like play the sound, but I'd have to.
The best caramels too. Mm-hmm. Cheese too. Do you remember that cheese?
No, I made that. That wasn't
that's
that
right.
good. I don't.
But it was.
You liked
was.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
I think the
That was my first
ambiance
attempt.
of being in that
The
space,
environment and where we were at, and it's like, oh, their goats are
Cheers.
right there.
those candies. God, those candies were so fucking good.
Yeah, McCann Farm.
Lotions too.
Follow on Instagram. McCann Go Farm.
Do they sell things at fairs then?
My parents go. They're always at the Zimmerman Prince and Zimmerman Farmers Market on Saturdays.
Oh.
They do different like craft shows and things throughout the holiday season too. My mom's usually there. They make soaps, lotions, and yes, the caramels and cajeta, which is like a caramel sauce. So those are the things they make and sell. And yeah. You're going to edit this out.
Yeah.
That's our what is it? ASMR.
ASMR. Speaking of ASMR, we met through the Keller open mic scene. Mm-hmm. And so you are our fellow comic as well. When's the last time you did stand-up, by the way?
Oh, my gosh. The Bullshorn show that Andy used to run. I think that's no longer a thing anymore, unfortunately. Right. But I did a few sets there. That was probably the last time I did it. That would have been like almost a year ago.
What? I thought you did a set at Sister Fest.
Sisyphus? Yeah. No, I went and watched and supported.
Oh.
I like really had to be there to just.
Okay.
But it wasn't like an open mic. It was a planned show. So
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I had to go and just revel in that moment. I don't know if we're foreshadowing to any sort of discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I think we are. Do people ask you if you're going to do comedy still?
Yeah, especially lately after things went down. I certainly think I could probably get back into it, but I don't know. I'm somebody that I really need to feel like comfortable and like I have a community. So I didn't do it for a while because I didn't really feel like I had that. But lately now I've reached a lot of people in Minneapolis. A lot of comics have reached out to me and I've become friends with them on Facebook. And so I'm feeling a bit more comfortable in that scene. So it's definitely a possibility in the near future. But like life's weird right now and I don't really want to go to mics.
Yeah.
So just for a long time I didn't have any desire to like write anything, or I didn't even feel that inspired to write anything. And I
think it's weird right now too, like what do you write about? Like a lot of people are just, well, I guess there's funny stories from being at home and if people work from home and all that. But I think with the way the world is right now, it's like so many hard things. It's like, how do you even joke about some of those things?
No, and some comics are doing a really good job with it. Like I said, I went to Sisyphus the other night and there was some really good sets with jokes about quarantine life and things like that. But for me, a lot of my comedy was about like I don't even remember what my comedy was about, to be honest. I know several jokes are about like being out and like doing things with people. So that's just not really a thing. Yeah. Also, I was very single when I was a comedian, like when I was doing comedy, and I'm in a very healthy, happy relationship now. So it's harder. I don't know how you do it.
Do you mean just because you had time to go out and do that stuff? Or?
Well, I was just having so many weird, hilarious experiences with like dating and things like that, which are just so relatable and just funny. And I have like train wreck stories and things. And sometimes it's like, do I even really want to talk about it? Because it's just in the past. But I'll definitely like still use some of that experience to write stuff. But it's harder to make jokes when you're like about your like relationship and stuff when it's really good. So I don't know.
Do you make jokes about me? I can't remember.
Dude, yeah. So even come on now.
It's in kids. I think it helps when there's kids.
That joke when you burp and you go, you put your...
Oh, yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah. It'll come.
I'm sure. I'm
just you guys are moving in with each other.
Together. Yeah, that's
when you get all the fun stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I met him almost exactly a year ago.
Wow.
So it was like August 11th. It was a Sunday in St. Cloud.
How'd you meet?
At a show. He was in a band, and it's really funny. I feel like I manifested it, and I tell him this all the time, like, it was all me. Because I had heard of his band, Taco House. Check them out on Spotify.
Nice.
Insert clip here. But I had discovered his band through friends because I have a lot of friends in the music scene in St. Cloud and stuff. And I was like, this is a really good band. And I watched some videos of like behind the scenes of their music video. And I was like, that guy's really cute. That guy's really funny. Oh my gosh, he's really funny. Did he just make a Game of Thrones reference? I need to meet this guy. And a bunch of my friends were going to a show. It was actually my friend Levi's birthday show. And I was like, I'm going to go there and I'm just going to like meet him and just be cute, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. It took me the entire show and like a lot of whiskey gingers at the time to like work up the courage to say anything. At the very end of the show, I went up and he was like talking to my friend. And I was like, this is a good moment to like talk to my friend. And I just swooped in and I was like, I like your tattoo. He's a My Chemical Romance tattoo.
That was it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they're my favorite band, like hands down, 100%. And I was like your tattoo, I really liked your show. Can I carry your amp for you?
It's like carrying the watermelon in Dirty Dancing, but it was the amp.
Yep, I carried his amp. And he's like, sure. And I carried it out to the Jeep or whatever. And then he added me on Facebook that night. And then we like flirted online for a few months. And then finally I was like, do you want to go to a comedy show with me? And I took him to Bullshorn, and the rest is history.
That is a beautiful story. I love that story.
Yeah. I forgot you were an MCR fan.
Oh, huge.
Did you get tickets to...
Yes, I did.
Aren't you one of the ones where you guys got tickets, but you're all sitting in different places?
Yeah, it was probably I'd say top 3 most stressful moments of my life.
I was sitting
MCR
online,
tickets.
refresh.
Oh my God.
And like got on, logged in early to get in line, and there was, you see, and it tells you how many people are ahead of you. You're like, I'm not getting tickets.
I was so optimistic about it too. I was like, the XL Energy Center is huge.
That's what I thought, because I'm like, we've seen these bands at like First Avenue. We name, all these smaller venues where I'm like, XL Energy, we're all going to get tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and there's usually, like, all of the shows that we went to at XL, there's always a fuckload of seats open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, they never fill it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So but I think everybody kind of knew that was going to happen.
I didn't. I've never,
really?
I've never been to like an XL show. The biggest show I've ever been to, I've been to like Bonnaroo festivals, but I've never been to a stadium show. It's always been like smaller venues.
Say I went and saw Blink-182 at XL. Mm-hmm. But I feel like they're more mainstream than MCR is. And then
I think, you know why I thought, I kind of had heard rumblings because I have friends in LA who are journalists and photographers, and they had done all of this extra work just to get a ticket. Not able to shoot the show, not able to do any interviews or anything, but the amount of things that they had to do just to get into the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought those shows in LA were a lot smaller. Those weren't stadium shows.
Yeah, those are like,
right, but
theater shows.
What I'm trying to say is, like, normally comping tickets is a fairly straightforward process, especially for these individuals. So if they're making it that difficult for the people who normally are in there to promote things and like help get the word out and stuff like that, then it just made me feel like it's going to be 10
I thought
times
we were
harder.
fine. But Chris is like, no, those tickets are going to go fast. You're not even going to get tickets. And I'm like, well, don't talk to me.
That's right. I kept saying, don't be bummed out if we don't get the tickets.
I kind of wish someone had been telling me that because I was not prepared at all. And
I think it's because like that year. So yeah, when we bought the tickets, it was like Ali Wong. And bought tickets for her. One other comic, I'm not going to say his name anymore because he's...
No, that's fine. Chris D'Elia.
And Tom Segura, it's like I had to log on early to get decent seats to those shows. So I'm like, yeah, but it's My Chemical Romance. Like, we'll get floor seats. That'll be fine. And it's like,
the floor seats are the ones that people want in this case, right?
Yeah.
Like in the pit.
Yeah, and they're expensive too.
Well, I looked and I saw the thing. I know we're just sitting here complaining about that process, but I was expecting like, okay, $75, $95 for a ticket.
Yes.
I did not realize there was this, what's it called? I don't know, like
yes, I didn't know that either.
That would
Ticketmaster.
Yeah, it was super fucked up because when I originally got on, I found 2 seats together. I was like, fuck yes, and they were like $400 each, and I'm like,
Jesus,
I literally don't have that. Like, there's no way.
So they do it based on demand.
Yep.
And Ticketmaster can raise their prices based on the demand of how many people want.
Yeah,
you didn't know that? Oh yeah, because the tickets were originally pretty reasonably priced, and all of a sudden the more people logged on, and I'm like, I automatically thought those were resale tickets. I thought people had bought them and now they're trying to resell them right away. I'm like, that's why people are selling them for that. And no, when you look into it, when you click on whatever the stupid button was, it is, if Ticketmaster notices there's a huge demand for these tickets, they will increase the prices significantly.
Yeah. So it was really expensive to get 2 seats together. And by the time I was on, I also made a huge mistake and tried getting in line on my phone and on my computer, and it wouldn't let me do that, and so I was only on my phone, which sucks.
Because if you have the same login,
so I had to end up doing it on my phone, which is really hard to like zoom in and out.
You can't look at where the seats are,
and so that was really frustrating. And I wish I had been on my computer to like see the whole.
Because then at least if you can see what the seats look like too if you click on the seats.
Yeah, and so I was just literally like scrolling around. I had no idea where I was, and then finally I found like 3 seats in the same section that were like a couple $100 each. I think I ended up paying like $550 for 3 tickets altogether.
I think we paid $400 for 2 tickets.
It's just insane. So we're like in the same section, but I have a feeling this happened to a lot of people, and when we go, everyone will just kind of like move themselves around in the section.
And I feel like especially fans of these type of bands, we're so like
I can't even hold people's hand next to me and be like, we've been waiting for this for years. I never got to see them live.
Really?
Like, ever.
I saw them at Taste of Chaos with The Used, and Burt and Gerard kissed each other.
Oh my god, that makes my little emo teenage heart.
It was beautiful. I was like, and I was in love with Burt McCracken at the time, and the friends I was with, they're like, "Do you see that? He kissed another guy." I'm like, I don't care. I love Burt.
And you're 23?
I'm 27.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were a lot younger for some reason.
No, it's because I look so youthful.
I was going to say, what kind of cream do you use?
Lots of lotions.
Goat lotion.
Goat lotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good for the skin, good for the soul.
Yeah, straight from the teat to your
But
skin.
it is when you haven't seen a band, though. Like, Chris has never seen them either. It's like, okay, I got to think of how much I would pay for these tickets. And plus, they haven't been together for how long? Mm-hmm. And they might not, this might be it.
Yep.
Who knows?
So that's probably why it just blew up so much.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. Well, the mythos of MCR has been played up so much over the last 5 years. They've kept teasing in this way, and even
the 10-year anniversary scandal.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I don't even
10-year anniversary scandal. And then when they started making all of these like cryptic videos and posts,
I knew
and
something was coming.
Yeah. But and there were only a couple of band members that even knew shit was going to happen. Like the rest of them were kind of like, we talk about it every now and then, and maybe something happens, maybe not. Either way, we're all still doing shit, so no big deal. But I want to say it was Gerard and Mikey. Yeah, were the ones spearheading the plan. And then they were like, yeah, we're fucking doing this. And everybody was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, as soon as they started dropping those like cryptic teasers and stuff, I was like, they're not going to make the same mistake they did in 2010 when they dropped this really cryptic video and everyone's like, reunion tour. And I was like so excited. And they're like, we're so glad you guys are excited, but we're just like re-releasing the album with some new tracks and merch. And everyone's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like I knew they weren't going to make that same mistake twice.
So the last album that they did you enjoy it?
The Danger Days?
Yeah.
I did. It's definitely different. My boyfriend is way more into it than I am. I'm definitely like a Black Parade, Three Cheers kind of stan. But I appreciate it for what it is, and I do enjoy listening to it. It's just usually when I'm like in the mood for MCR, I'm going to probably skip that one.
I've never got to have this conversation with somebody. But for me, Danger Days was so clearly influenced by who's the lead singer of Green Day?
Oh, Billy Joe.
Really? Like, yeah. So that's
as far as the musical styling.
Yeah, and
I've never made that connection.
Well, so when you look at like the outfits that they were wearing, the changes in wardrobe and hair color and all of these things was the same time that Billy Joe and Gerard had become friends. And that was one of Burt McCracken's big gripes, was that Billy Joe was having this massive influence on Gerard. And he was like, dude, fuck that. You guys were doing great without him. You don't need to be doing this shit.
He's a pretty knowledgeable dude.
Yeah. And you think about it, nobody's buying Danger Day shirts. They're all buying Black Parade shirts.
I'm definitely buying Danger Day shirts for my boyfriend. He's going to be like, wait, hold up. He'll be listening to this like, no.
But I mean, like, overall, people, when it comes to their nostalgia, it's Black Parade.
Absolutely.
It's Three Cheers. And that's when like another divide happened, was people were like, well, we're Used fans just as much as we are My Chemical Romance fans. And if Burt thinks you're selling out.
See, I never heard of that stuff. Maybe
really?
I was not a Used, like I listened to their singles and stuff on, Fuse and whatnot. See,
but I know you guys are big MCR, but I would choose the Used over MCR.
I mean, that's understandable. Everyone's
fine.
got their band,
Yeah.
But
and
I guess I
feel like they,
even if it's the wrong band, everyone has their band.
Yeah. Chris isn't a big Used fan. Not like I am.
I like them.
Yeah.
It's just if I had to
I was in
choose.
their music video.
What?
Yeah.
Was it like a fan one when you were
Yeah. Okay. Like the frontline workers and all that. You submit a video and I got to be in it right after Burt and his family. Me and the kids.
Yep. I had the idea of Kim coming out of the car and then the kids running up in slow motion.
And hugging me.
And I nailed it.
Nailed it. And they did in slow mo. It was a really cool part of the song,
I'm
too.
so fucking good.
Please send that link to me, because I don't know if I saw that. I'm sure you posted it on Facebook.
I did, but I'll send
everything
it
is buried these days.
I know. I did realize that the other night on Facebook, it's like I have to, when you click I'm in a lot of stupid groups too. Like I'm in a lot of Aldi groups because I like Aldi a lot. So it's like I see all that stuff or Instant Pot stuff. When you click on most recent, it's like, where are my friends at in here? Like if I want to go look at group stuff, I'll click on there, but I just want to see my friend stuff. And it's like this, I see like the same maybe 6 people stuff. It like pops up in my notifications. Like this person posted a new picture. It's like, well, cool, but I want to know about everybody else.
Yeah, I pretty much at this point I only see about the same 6 people, and they're not even people that I like would consider close friends anymore. They're just people that share memes that I like sometimes.
Oh, so you maybe interact with that one.
I will like the memes, and now all I see is them.
Well, another crazy thing, like, so my friend Riley apparently shares a bunch of like lewd stuff, or like,
why do I see all his lewd gross stuff?
That's what I was gonna say was so weird, is I only see his written posts. I don't see any photos that he shares.
Why you don't see those photos? No offense, Riley.
He knows he's gross,
but you post really gross stuff.
I did see, because a mutual friend commented on one that he shared where like, if you keep heart reacting, then this is gonna be us. And it was some dude with his face buried in his girlfriend's buttocks, and but the guy had a bowl cut, and so somebody commented, "You're gonna get a bowl cut then?" And so that's the only one that I saw. But
I just have to keep reminding myself he's way younger than us.
Yeah, he is younger than us. That's for sure. Yeah. Speaking of being young, you like Rugrats?
I love Rugrats. That was my favorite show growing up.
Was it really?
100%.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I've been packing lately because I'm moving in September, and I have all these old VHSs, and I've got Rugrats in Paris.
Was it the Rugrats movie that was orange?
Yeah, there's 2 of them, I think. Rugrats in Paris, and then there's the Rugrats, I think just the Rugrats movie. Is that the one where they run into the Thornberries, or is that a third one?
Oh, that's right.
That's maybe Rugrats Wild. I don't know. There were crossovers.
Wow, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, but anyway, I've got 2 Rugrats OG VHSs.
Hell yeah.
I need a VCR if you guys have one that you're not using.
I don't
think we do.
No.
They're kind of hard to find because they actually burn out after a while. So
yeah, if you don't clean the heads.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very familiar with VHS tapes.
I say, wow, that's really nerdy.
I have like all of the old Disney movies. Like my mom had
those.
my mom had a box of it. And she like texted me and my brother, and she's like, I'm like cleaning stuff out. Do you guys want these? And I'm like, yeah, you're not throwing those away. That's my entire childhood.
Big money later too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
dude. Okay, this is perfect because now
movies.
Yes, I want to jump into movies.
We came back around.
See,
fantastic.
Everything just naturally finds a way, you know?
Well, I mean, it was pretty random of me to say, do you like Rugrats? But it worked.
That was true.
Yeah. Love Rugrats. Who's your favorite Rugrat?
My favorite? It's got to be Chucky.
Yeah.
I do like Chucky.
I was a huge fan of Angelica when I was a kid because I was a little brat. And my mom and dad used to call me Angelica, but there's just something about her. I like her character arc.
That's so
She knows
funny.
what she wants and she goes for it.
Yeah, hell
and
yeah.
She doesn't let anyone get in her way.
And she still helps out the babies even though she doesn't really like them or tolerate them.
It's true.
She's still on their side.
She's going to save them at the end of the day.
Yes. She's a very complex character. She's not just a villain.
That's
She's
such
not
a
a good girl.
That's such a good like model for feminism. Is like, men are babies and we're going to tolerate them.
Yeah.
Yep. At the end of the day, if you're in trouble, we'll help you because we know how to.
Yeah. But you're all just a bunch of dumb bebes.
Dumb bebes.
Okay, so now do you still work for a movie theater?
So I'm furloughed at the moment because of COVID from Marcus Theaters, but I guess I'm still like, as soon as they reopen, like I'm still an employee there.
Word.
Been working for them for 5 years, so
yeah. Now, was it your love of movies that brought you there, or was it just a job opening?
Partially. In college is when I kind of discovered I was always a book reader growing up, like huge book nerd. I was always like, the books are always better than the movies. Kind of like I was that kid.
Well,
and then when I went to college and had to read, I got sick of reading and discovered documentary filmmaking and got really into like learning things that way, which then just got me into cinematography, which got me into screenplay writing. I just became a huge film nerd, and then I dated some Dirk who was a huge film buff too, so we just kind of like exploded there.
A lot of them seem to be assholes.
They really are. They really are.
It's very odd.
Pretentious, is that the word?
Yeah. Well, anyway, we had a great time watching movies together.
Because you didn't talk then.
Yeah, but it was right after college, and I knew I had to get out of my college town, and I was just looking for jobs, and I think I just came across like assistant manager of a movie theater. And I did not have any management experience. I'd worked in customer service since high school, but I was like, I'm just going to go for it because I love movies and it'd be kind of cool to work in a theater.
Yeah.
I drove all the way from St. Peter, Minnesota, all the way up to St. Cloud.
Wow.
It was like a 2-hour drive or something.
Yeah.
For a 10-minute interview. And my boss to this day, I still give him shit about it. I'm like, I got all dressed up. I drove 2 hours in the morning and you interviewed me for like 10 minutes and he hired me like on the spot.
Wow.
Which was really cool.
Yeah,
like,
that is really cool.
He's still like the best boss I've ever had. Shout out Ben. But yeah, he was just like, he said in the interview, like, I feel like I have a pretty good read on people and I think you'd be a good fit. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm like really thankful that he gave me a chance and like just believed that I had the skills to be good at that job. And
yeah,
I really feel like I do. Like, I love that job a lot. It's been hard to leave, even though it doesn't always pay the best.
Yeah.
The perks are nice, obviously. When I lived in St. Cloud, I was seeing movies 3 times a week, Now it's a little further away, so it's harder to do that.
I'm trying to think of how to word this. What film would you say was the biggest letdown that like you were so excited to see and you knew that it was coming and it ended up hitting theaters and you got to see it and you're like, what the fuck?
Crossroads.
The Britney Spears movie?
Yeah. I just tease.
Oh my gosh, you gotta throw these at me in advance because I'm one of those people that's like, I have to give the perfect answer and I have to sit here and think about it for like 5 minutes. So this is a weird nerd thing. In 2018, I started writing down every new movie I saw.
Oh.
So every time I saw a new movie, I'd add it to the list, and I have a goal of hitting 100 new movies every year.
So that's like every third day you'd have to almost see a new movie.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's a website that works like a journal for movies. Mm-hmm. So every time you see a movie, and it makes it so you can give like a star rating and then take notes. And fuck, I wish I could remember what it was called.
Yeah, but I'm just going to scroll through and see if there's one. And it didn't have to be like a brand new movie. It just had to be new to me. So even if it was like the first time I'd ever seen it. So I didn't have to go to the theater 3 times a week. I could just sit at home and watch movies. Here's the thing. I don't like going in with big expectations.
Yeah. Because then you do get let down.
Yeah.
But there's some that just fill your heart in a way that you're like, oh man, this makes me feel a certain way before it even happens.
Well, you obviously have one on your mind. Tell me what yours is.
You do it first.
I would like the first one that comes to mind would be Artemis Fowl.
Is that a movie?
They make it in a movie. Mm-hmm. So it's on Disney Plus.
Oh, I was gonna say I remember seeing posters in my theater of it, but they probably released
3 years ago. They kept so it's just very odd. Like there's a lot of it that's really fun. And it's deep from the perspective of a kid. Like I imagine if I was like 12 and I saw this for the first time, I would be like, holy shit, there's this big, beautiful world and there's all of these nuances to it. But the way that they should have done it, they didn't do it. And so it was really a huge bummer.
Definitely, I would say books or movies that are based on books have that kind of hurdle
Fantastic
to go
Beasts.
over. But that was like a spin-off of the books. It's different.
I guess.
I'm saying like movies that are literally based on an actual book. I think they have this hurdle to like jump over of people who are already hyped. They're coming to the movie because of the book.
Yes.
They have to appeal to those people as well as to people who have never read the books. And that is a really hard thing to do in filmmaking because books are written different than scripts are. And
Absolutely.
you have to, I remember getting so mad when I was a kid that they would move plot points around, like in Lemony Snicket, the series of unfortunate events. My favorite series as a kid. I mean, I literally have a tattoo.
That's awesome.
I have the VFD tattoo. Like they're still my favorite book series. I remember seeing the movie in theaters. Well, that's when I could say I was so hyped about it. When I was a kid, I went with my mom and my brother. I'm like, this is my favorite. Like, and they like flipped the last 2 books around, or they moved the ending of the first book to the ending of the movie, and they did the first 3 books. They moved it all around, and I was like, this is all wrong. This is totally wrong. This isn't how it worked. And I was so angry about it. But then I went back and rewatched it again as an adult who's now into film and understands, you know, the anatomy of a script, basically. Yeah. I totally understand why they did it. Like, it just makes sense for the plot line for them to move it around like that.
Dude, and Jim Carrey.
He was great.
Oh my God.
And so many people like actually shit on that movie a lot, but it's a good movie. It's really good. Well, and who's in it? Meryl Streep as the aunt. So fantastic. Like, she's really great.
And that Scottish actor who was in Boondock Saints plays the herpetologist.
Petunia, what have I told you about this? She thinks I'm a tree, you know.
But he has such a beautiful way of talking to the children. Come around, children. I'll play you a song.
Did you watch the Netflix series of it?
Yes.
Yeah, we can nerd out about that too. I loved it. They did so well.
God damn it was so good.
Mm-hmm. I just kind of wish Meryl Streep had been the aunt. I didn't. Yes. That actress was great. I don't know her name. She's a fabulous actress. But that character needed to be really meek and like timid. But that actress she has such a powerful like aura. You can tell she plays really strong characters, and it just wasn't like believable to me that she would play Aunt Josephine. So yeah, that's my gripe there. But I figured out what movie I was like super hyped to see and super let down. And people are going to disagree with me on this one. It was Hereditary.
Oh.
Hated it.
I was going to ask you about who's the director for that.
Oh my God.
Because they did Midsummer, right? Yep.
Mm-hmm. I own Midsummer. I bought Midsummer on Blu-ray. I wasn't disappointed by that one. But the thing is, I went into Midsummer knowing it was the same Ari. Is it Ari something? Ari Aster? If it's Ari Aster, I'm going to feel really good about myself.
I was going to say, damn, you guys are dropping some names.
I'm getting really good at it. I knew I had to start because people would be like, well, you know, this actor and this director. And like, I'm like, I got to start memorizing names to keep up. It's Ari Aster.
Yeah.
A+ gold star. I just wasn't happy with Hereditary, so I went into Midsummer being like, but I liked it better.
Well, I heard a big gripe with her, which I can't see. I can't do horror movies, especially when they.
But you're covered in tattoos.
They do such a good job of giving you that anxiety. Mm-hmm. Like there's horror movies where it's like you get scared, and then there's the anxiety when they stretch certain things out, and you're like, just make it happen already.
Those are the ones I like. I don't like jump scare movies like the big box. Like, okay, I like the Paranormal Activity. Those are fun to me because I like the found footage aspect. That's exciting. But like the Conjuring series and things like that, that's all like everything's. I know what's coming, and it's just gonna jump out and scare me.
But in that sense,
Chris fast forward. So he'll fast forward.
Really?
It's unbelievable in that sense, right? So you're like, okay. You can't imagine what that person is feeling, but directors like Hereditary and like even actually with it, the stretching, because you hear their breathing, you hear their heartbeat, like the scratching, music, like they just, and so you're like, I get so involved in movies that like World War Z, even though it's not like the best movie, the dynamic of a father trying to protect his family gave me so much anxiety.
He had nightmares for weeks.
Oh wow!
About trying to save
not weeks, for 3 days.
3 days. It felt like weeks.
It was rough because he a little bit of zombie juice falls into his mouth, and he goes and stands at the edge of a building and is counting to 10, and the wife's like, "What are you doing?" So he's like, "Some of it got in my mouth," and he's prepared to just fall off this building.
Spoiler alert.
To protect his family. Oh, that's a small. To protect his family, he's willing to fall off this building in case he turns into one of these zombies. And there was little things like that in the movie that you're like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, that's...
You get really emotionally attached to the characters.
Chris does, yeah.
I do.
Well,
but
that's
please,
good.
Sorry, I went on a tangent. Go further into Hereditary.
Oh, I guess my main gripe was the pacing of the movie. The first third of the movie, I was buckled in. I was so in. Like, I did not see some of those. I'm not going to spoiler alert things because I think you should watch it. It's worth a watch. But the first third of the movie is gripping. And like, I was so excited and everything was going really well. Then the middle third was just so slow. And it's like, I don't know. I was literally like, looking at my watch, like, okay, when's the next like thing gonna happen? And yeah, I think they were doing like the building, but it was like not anxiety inducing enough, I think, for me.
Okay.
And then the last third of the movie, just like all this shit happened. And I felt like they were playing catch up with a lot of the weird prophecy stuff that happened. And there were like books and like witchy things. And I was like, wait, what? And I felt like I was playing catch up with all this stuff that they could have talked about in the second third of the movie, and they all just like mushed it in the last third. And then all of a sudden there's like, I don't know, it was just too much. I will definitely give it another watch and like rewatch it and see what I think, but the whole like middle part of the movie, I'm just like,
so rather than things clicking in the way that like organically it's supposed to happen in a film, it was all like just somebody tipped over the toy box and then it all just came spilling out.
Exactly. First third did a great job setting everything up and making you like excited to find out what happens and like building the tension and like things coming out of nowhere and freaking you out. And then it just was really, really slow. And then boom. So the pacing was really off.
Gotcha. So Kim Duke, which Nicholas Sparks was the biggest letdown for you?
Shut up.
What'd you say?
Shut up.
What movie was a letdown for you?
She already said it.
What was it?
The Britney Spears one.
Crossroads.
Oh, yeah, Crossroads.
I still love that movie. Hashtag save Britney.
For real. Let's not get into it.
I know. Gosh. I'm trying to think because I feel like, let me go through my Amazon.
I am a big superhero movie fan. And
Are you
I
not
would
so?
imagine not so much. Yeah.
Yeah, people are always weird. They're like, you work at a movie theater. You like movies. You're not excited about the next Marvel movie? And I'm like, I appreciate their existence because pays my bills. They're the movies that bring in all the people. I understand the hype about them. Like, people have grown up reading the comics. And so I understand that, being a book lover, and like when a new movie comes out, like, I get that. I get even the people that didn't read the comics and have just like watched the movies and get excited about it. I love that. And I love opening nights of like Marvel movies and Star Wars movies and things like that.
Dressed up.
People get dressed up. Like, even like it's a Frozen movie, all these little girls running around in like Elsa costumes. Like, I don't even really like kids, but seeing like little 3-year-old girls running around in Elsa and Anna costumes, it's just fun and cute. And like, I like the excitement and I like events like that. It's fun to be a part of, even if I don't appreciate the actual media. Because again, it's like, I could write those movies myself. I feel like, I mean, if someone gave me the comic book anyway, it just always feels so, I'd already know what's going to happen. It's just big bangs and booms and funny one-liners, and then everyone is alive in the end. Like, people were I was forced to go to, was it Endgame or Infinity War? What's the first one? Endgame?
Infinity War, and then Endgame was the last.
Okay, I was forced to go to Infinity War with my boyfriend at the time. I had literally only seen Deadpool, Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's it. Like, those are the only two of the entire Marvel universe that I knew about, like Iron Man and Captain America and things like that. But anyway, I went to the movie and like people were like crying, and I'm just like, they're obviously not all gonna die. Like, I don't know. It was just
I think because the way that comic books work, there's a lot of what if stories, and so there will be these like 5-part series of what if Dr. Octopus got the powers of Spider-Man. So they'll just do random shit like that. And so you like just have to go, okay, it's they call it retcon. They're like reconstructing the universe or whatever. So you're going, okay, for this, I'm going to imagine that this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And so like that Spider-Man moment, which if you haven't seen it, you're fucking out of your mind. But Spider-Man dies in that. And for me, like, it was the relationship between Tony and this kid. And that this kid that he didn't want to have to be on the front line of these things. And watching that kid feel like he let Tony down in this really dramatic way. Like I cried like a baby. It was so heartbreaking. Like,
I think it's
even
a
though
lot
you knew he
because
was
you
going
get
to
so
come
involved
back
with characters too.
but that's the thing. So with the comic books, the reason why I was saying like they do these like 5-off series, it's for this story arc. You've got to imagine that's the thing. This is what's actually happening, and then whatever happens afterwards, it's what happens afterwards. So it's like comic books do that thing, like with time travel and what did Jesus do?
Reincarnation?
Resurrected?
Resurrecting. Yeah, there we go. Resurrecting of characters and shit like that. It does always happen, but like trying
in that moment though.
Yeah, trying to do these and it's the same thing that I've started to do with kids movies. Like I look at like Moana, the fact that she didn't have a love interest. Her love was for her family.
Freaking badass.
And like the importance that means for kids later on, rather than pretending Prince Charming.
Well,
they're
like
pretending
Brave too, Merida. She
exactly.
didn't have she just wanted to mend her relationship with her mom.
So that's
Did
these
you see
beautiful.
Onward?
Yes.
So cute.
That's
Bald like a
that
baby.
too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's kind of a love interest, but not really.
The story is about wanting a father figure and realizing
Yes.
you don't need a father to have that in your life.
Yeah.
Like, it's so cute.
Yeah.
I did.
Disney's
tear up a
killing
little
it. Disney is killing it. Where their princess, like even Elsa, she doesn't need a man.
Yeah, it's so I love the way that they're doing kids movies now, where it doesn't have to be you meet someone and then immediately fall in love. That's
You're willing
such a
to give up
psycho.
your fins and leave your family just for some guy that you saw on a boat.
Maybe
Like,
that's
what
why I
if
liked Alice in Wonderland so much as a kid. That was one of my favorite movies growing up. I didn't have any of that in it. It was just like weird
that's
bonkers.
true.
That's probably why I'm really messed up. I named my cat Alice when I was like 3 or 4. It was a little boy cat. I named him Alice. Loved that movie.
Dude, that's so awesome. Okay, so
I couldn't think of a movie. I did think Trolls 2. Trolls 2. I did not like Trolls 2. I'm sorry. But it wasn't like
hilarious.
I looked forward to it and then it was this huge letdown. I didn't like it.
I like that
That's
you chose
really
a kids
funny.
movie.
yeah,
I know, because that's all like looking through our purchases, it's all kids movies because that's all we watch.
What about The Joker?
I loved that movie. I didn't think it was a big letdown.
God, I fucking loved it.
Okay. I thought you were about to say, gosh,
With
I hated it.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Gosh.
I enjoyed it. My boyfriend loved it. Of course, but
I think
liked it.
because of the mental health aspect,
Yeah.
anything
We're
with
big
any
on
mental
that.
health things in it, like big. Like my top 5 movies, all like Girl Interrupted is one of my top 5 favorite movies.
Well, the best line in that movie is, why is it that people expect individuals with mental health issues to act like they don't have mental health issues? That was such a big thing because it's so true in society. Like, I couldn't believe whoever wrote that that's such an accurate depiction of the way that mental health is treated. It's how can we help you so that you look like everyone else from now on?
We want to feel comfortable around you.
Yes.
What can we do to make me feel comfortable?
Yep. Because when we see you having these hallucinations, it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Well, not even hallucinations.
Well, I mean, just in general, like
why is Steve sitting by himself when we're all over here playing a game? Like, how come he can't just come? I know you don't like it or you're sad about something, but can you just sit here and just be quiet?
Because it makes us uncomfortable seeing you over there. Wow, Chris is going deep this episode.
Oh yeah.
No, that was I guess
I like my movies like I like my coffee. Deep.
Deep.
I'm really excited about this list I came
Yes,
up with.
I was just going to bring that up.
I have to pee.
Oh, go ahead, go pee.
Cut.
Cut for time.
No.
We have children.
I have a bladder of steel.
Oh, I have a child bladder.
When I was
Bladder
a kid,
of
I
steel.
used to go duck hunting with my dad. Sorry.
Really?
Oh yeah, I was a bloodthirsty child.
No shit.
Yeah, I had deer hunted, duck hunted. I think I went pheasant hunting, but I don't think I've ever shot a pheasant.
But you've shot a deer before?
2.
Wow.
I haven't even held a gun in like years, but I grew up around that stuff. I still have a bloodlust for a turkey. Like I want to shoot a turkey, and I think it's because I love I love eating turkey so much. It's one of my favorite meats. So that's like the one animal I have not yet gotten myself. that I really still want to get. So if anyone wants to take me turkey hunting.
There's a shit ton around here.
When I drove here, I saw
Did
a
you see the
mama
family?
and a dada and a little baby turkeys. I was like,
See, I haven't told Kim this,
I
but
do a really good turkey impression too.
really? Okay. I was going to say, let's do a scene where we're at
I just did. I blew my load.
We're at a bar.
Okay.
And you're going to order a drink in Turkey.
No, I just do.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you the bartender?
Yep. Hi, ma'am. Can I get you anything to drink?
Yeah, I would like a...
That's funny. Landon just came out of his room. He goes, "What noise was that?" I go, "What?" And he goes, "Whoa!" And I'm like, "I don't know. I didn't hear anything."
Yeah, I was showing off my turkey goblin skills. But back to my bladder of steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, duck hunting. You're out in a marsh, and without a penis, you gotta pretty much take your pants off. But I mean, like these waders, and
so it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and there's really no trees to hide behind. It's just kind of like marshy grass, and it's. I'm the only little girl. Like I'm like a 14-year-old with all these older dudes, like my dad and his buddies, and
like I got
I'm like I don't really want to pee here, so it's either hold it forever or like drop trow and some guy might walk in on you. So I have a bladder of steel.
Well, you don't want a tick on your hoo-ha either.
I don't know if there's ticks in like marshes. Like we're literally in like a pond.
Oh,
snakes. Just kidding. There's none either.
Yeah, that would not be good.
The first goose I ever shot almost landed on me.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it was like right in the air. It landed like 5 feet behind me. My dog was like, "Cool, I don't have to go get it."
That's crazy. Okay, so I had messaged Mackenzie earlier this week.
Oh,
and by earlier I mean like 2 days ago.
Like 2 days ago. Yeah.
Of the top 5 movies to watch in a pandy.
Yeah, and that's kind of all he gave me. And I was like, should it be like pandemic related movies? Is it like my top 5 favorite movies? And he's like, do whatever you want.
Yeah, he's great with direction, isn't he?
So I was like, I'm just going to talk about movies, a couple of movies that have recently gotten me hyped, that I've been excited about, or some like longtime faves that I've never heard anyone talk about.
You can pull that mic down a little bit.
Is it too high up? Okay. So 5 films you need to watch is literally what I titled it. We're going to start out with one that I just watched recently. I've been really excited that a lot of streaming services have been putting Black stories up front, and they've made them really accessible. Like there are a lot of movies about, Black characters or directed by Black filmmakers. They're not available to stream, or if they are, you've got to like search for them by name. They don't really pop up. Wow. I really wanted to see Blind Spotting when I had first seen the trailer. Have you heard of this one?
I don't think I have.
Blind Spotting. I saw the trailer a long time ago. It came out in 2018, and I was like stoked to see it. It's basically about a Black man who is on his last few days of probation after, I think it was a felony or something. So he's been on probation for a long time. It's like one of his last few days, and he witnesses a white cop shoot and kill a Black man, and like how he deals with that. And it looked very serious. So I was really excited to see it. And it wasn't available to stream anywhere. It didn't come out in my theater. So it was really disappointing, but it came out. I think it's on Prime, maybe.
Okay.
And I was like, I gotta watch this right now. And instead of being this like really gripping drama, it is a fucking hilarious like dark comedy. It is so funny, and comedy. It's Daveed Diggs, who is now one of my top 5 celeb crushes. I don't know if you guys watch Hamilton yet.
No, we have not yet.
Gotta watch Hamilton too. It took me a while to get into it because I'm not like a rap and hip hop fan really at all.
Really?
I'm just not. But I really was excited to see Hamilton. And it took me a few musical numbers to be like, okay, I'm into this, because I was afraid I wasn't going to understand any of the words, because with rap sometimes it goes so fast my brain doesn't catch up with it. I'm
the same.
But they are so like, they made sure to dictate everything so well, like I could understand everything.
Articulate.
Articulate. That's the word. Did I say dictate?
I like dictate.
Diction. That's a word.
Diction. There we go. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that word is correct. There's a couple different ways to use dictate.
Sure,
Synonym.
My brain went to dictatorship.
Yep.
That's okay.
Articulate,
now I gotcha.
dictate.
I gotcha.
I'm gonna look that up.
So Blind Spotting.
Yes. So Daveed Diggs is in Hamilton. That's kind of where he kind of shot to fame, I think. And he is the main character in Blind Spotting. He is super cute. And he's really good. And he's a fantastic rapper. And there's a scene towards the end of the movie where he raps, and it's actually like really emotional and gripping and very good. Fucking hilarious. You have to watch it.
That's awesome.
So put that at the top of your list for sure.
Boom. Blind spot.
Boom. Speaking of Daveed Diggs, the next one I'm going to say is Snowpiercer. Have you seen Snowpiercer?
Is that the one with fucking Ryan?
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, yes.
Chris Evans is in it. So Parasite won Best Picture this last year at the Oscars. Bong Joon-ho is the director. And he also directed Snowpiercer. But that movie is fully in English. It came out in 2013. Tilda Swinton's in it too. There's a lot of actual big names.
That's the train, right?
The train one.
Yep.
And they recently made a TV show about it, and Daveed Diggs is the main character. I haven't seen it yet. I don't think it's available for streaming anywhere. It's like on TV. It hasn't been getting the greatest reviews because this movie is so weird and dark and quirky. This director is such a visionary. He is so good.
That's so interesting.
The entire movie takes place on this train, and it's after the apocalypse, and like everyone who's still alive on Earth basically gets put into this train. And, you know, it's all about class. Like everyone at the very back of the train, they live in just like filth. And the further up the train you go, it's like people are living in like the higher class society and whatnot. So it's about the lower class basically storming through to get to the front of the train. So and Tilda Swinton's in it, and she's just fucking fantastic. I'm kind of glad they put like a face like Chris Evans in it to get people more interested in it, but they didn't need him. I think in a filmmaking aspect, the whole thing moves from like left to right constantly because they're moving up the train. It's really dark and like gory, but also funny too. So good.
That's so interesting. When I saw that trailer, I was like, the fact that Chris Evans was in it, I was like, oh, it's going to be some
it turned
shit.
You off, actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it. I love Tilda Swinton though. Mm-hmm. She's like as far as androgynous individuals go, the top of my list. She's just the fucking best.
Yeah.
Ever since Constantine, she just, in my book, can do no wrong.
She's a force.
I fucking love her.
I'll watch anything with Tilda Swinton.
That's interesting, though. I'm going to have to check that out now.
Yeah, so I thought like a lot of people had seen it, but I'm surprised you haven't because I think it's on Netflix. It has been for a long time.
Yeah, my parents were trying to get me to see it, and I was I thought it was just going to be an
like
action movie. Yeah, exactly.
No, it's one of those that like...
Guess when you leave, we're going to be stuck in bed watching movies all day.
Well, I got to finish Umbrella Academy first.
It like kind of crawls into your psyche because honestly, the movie feels like a really weird, bad dream because each new car they go into is just this new weird world. And it feels like a dream, you know, when you're suddenly in a new place.
Yeah.
Like you're dreaming about this weird situation, then boom, you're in a totally different environment. Like it kind of feels like a weird nightmare like that.
Wow.
It's really good. I hope I did a good job explaining
that. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I'm excited now.
Hyped
That's awesome.
For it. Okay. A little more on the lighthearted side. Have you guys seen Booksmart yet?
No.
Directed by Olivia Wilde. That one just came out last year in 2019.
Love her.
I had to throw like a female director on there because it's really actually sad how few there are that get, you know, actually screen time in movie theaters. So this one, we actually got in the theater for like a day or two and then it was gone, which was stinky. When I worked at the St. Cloud Theater, we had 17 screens. So we got a lot of the indie movies and it was awesome. And now I work in the one in Shakopee that has 10 screens. So you pretty much only get the big movies.
Sure.
Yeah. If we do get smaller indie films, it's only there for like a week. So I did not get to see Booksmart in the theater because I just didn't have time to. So it finally came out streaming and it's so funny. It's about two high school girls that were overachievers like I was, and they all the one girl got into a really good college, and then she found out that all the kids who like partied and did drugs and alcohol in school also got into good colleges, and she's like, did I just waste my high school years by doing everything right when I could have just had fun? And so it's like the night before graduation and it's just about their antics going to parties and stuff, and the whole thing's goofy, and like some people have called it like the super bad for girls.
Okay. Yeah, I did see the trailer for that.
Yeah, I can kind of see that, but the whole thing is like far-fetched and kind of unbelievable, but in a really funny way. So it's a good, fun, lighthearted one if you want to see something goofy. So,
hell yeah, that's awesome.
like that one a lot. And then another fun one that's also kind of okay. Taika Waititi is very like buzzword right now. He directed the Thor movie.
Ragnarok.
Yep, Thor Ragnarok. Jojo Rabbit was recent.
Jojo Rabbit, that's the one that I need to see.
You gotta see that one. That's not on my list, but I'm just mentioning it.
Okay.
I'm actually going to mention one of his earlier films called Boy. This one came out in 2010. I think it's streaming, but you have to rent it. I actually just bought the Blu-ray because I loved it so much. But this is one of his first movies. He wrote, directed, and starred in it too. And like he's hilarious and should be in front of a camera always.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes.
Oh,
have you watched the TV show of it?
No.
Just as good. Like, so
fucking
good.
awesome.
Add that. It's on Hulu. Add it to your list. It's
What are we?
fucking funny.
Werewolves, not swearwolves.
It's so good. Okay, so Boy is set in New Zealand, which is where he's from. So you get to listen to that crazy weird accent. I have to watch it with like subtitles. But it's about two young boys they're raised by their grandma. Their mom died, and their dad is just out of the picture. And Taika plays the father who just comes back one day with his gang of. He's just got out of jail and is basically like trying to kind of get back into their lives. And also really he's only there to dig up a bunch of money that he buried like when he was running from the cops. So it's about the two boys' relationship with their father. And it's funny, but it's also very poignant and like dark and sad. But there's a goat in it. Like it literally. And the best part about this movie is it was 2010 and there's all these weird like, it's not foreshadowing because I doubt that Taika Waititi knew he was gonna direct Thor Ragnarok or he was gonna write a movie called Jojo Rabbit. But there are like little bits, like they're almost like Easter eggs in the movie where he talks about the Hulk and he talks about Nazis, and I'm just like, that's so funny.
Way.
Yeah, because he later on goes. So it's really fun. I've watched it twice in the past few months. Like really good.
Oh, that's awesome.
Boy.
Not a lot of people remember this, but he was in Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds.
I never saw that one. Was he?
It sucked, but
It sucked.
It was not good.
but Ryan Reynolds was hilarious in it, and yeah, Taika, he plays like kind of a computer whiz in the film. But yeah, very funny. That's awesome.
Yeah,
what was it called again?
Boy. Just B-O-Y. That's the main character's name. Everyone's called him Boy.
Hell yeah.
So, all right, the last one. I was trying to find an older one because I realized all of these are from like the 2000s. And I'm like, let's get some diversity in here. So just kind of scrolling through Hulu, and I was so excited to find Waiting for Guffman on Hulu right now. It is a mockumentary. Have you heard of Spinal Tap?
Yeah.
I believe the same producers as Spinal Tap. They've done a few. They've done Waiting for Guffman, Spinal Tap, Best in Show. It's got like Fred Willard. So this movie has Fred Willard, Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, all the big names in the mockumentary world, and it's about a small town. It's their sesquicentennial, and they're writing and producing a play. So it's about community theater. So if anyone has ever been in any sort of community theater production or even high school theater, this is the funniest fucking movie. And this is the one I watched yesterday because I was like, I just need to rewatch this to remind myself how good it is. And I'm almost positive this is the movie like started the audition montage like bit that all the movies have.
Oh.
I didn't research that, so if someone wants to fact check me, but it's just so good that it's like the closeted gay director who, ends up having to fill in for a role because someone drops out at the last minute. Like literally those were things that happened in community theater when I was involved. Like it's just so funny. And I don't know, Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara are both in Schitt's Creek right now. Have you seen
Isn't
that?
it Levy?
It's Levy.
It's Levy?
Eugene Levy? I think so.
Because Alex said that
One
the
of
other
my
day
best
too.
friends' name is Rachel Levy. It's a very Jewish last name.
Wow. I've been saying Eugene Levy
I think it's Levy.
all my life, and I thought that was it.
You want to look it up?
I even made fun of Alex for saying Levy and made him look like a dum-dum.
All right, well, we're going to make you look like a dum-dum in a second.
I hope so.
I can call my friend Rachel real quick. I phone a friend. She's got the same last name. Can I do that?
Did you look up how to pronounce it?
I would rather call my friend Rachel. Except I'm just saying her full name out loud for the...
Yeah, I was going to say. I don't know if she wants to be...
Eugene Levy. Eugene Levy.
Yes!
What if I call my friend Rachel and she says Levy?
Does she spell it the same?
Levy.
See, his is Leavy.
No, Levy.
Oh, he does?
But they could have similar last names, just pronounced
That's
differently.
True. Does it really matter?
It
At
doesn't.
the end of the day.
But I feel good.
Cut it all out.
But that, dude, Best in Show.
Mm-hmm. All the same
Jesus Christ. Remember how funny that movie is, Kim? That's the dog one?
I know, yes.
Oh, my
very
God.
Funny.
Yeah, Eugene Levy is fucking great in that. But there's the one guy who's in those movies, and he's also one of the judges in Pitch Perfect.
Fred Willard?
That's Fred Willard? No, Fred Willard is the older guy that passed away recently.
Yeah.
In Pitch Perfect, it's the one lady and that guy.
Levy.
Damn it.
Yes! Fuck yeah. Okay, hold on.
Levy. Levy.
It's still going.
Levy.
Well, it's like how to pronounce Levy in British English, how to pronounce Levy in American English, how to pronounce Levy in British English.
John Michael Higgins.
Sorry, bad timing.
No, that's hilarious.
Your call has been forwarded to
Boom.
Maybe she'll
voice
say her
messaging
name.
system.
Rachel Levy.
Yes!
That's really funny.
So, okay.
Funny.
One of my BFFs has the same last name, but pronounced differently. So, whatever.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
Okay.
You don't have to put that in.
No, that was hilarious
Okay.
because I was just gonna rant about random shit. So that works good.
Yeah, you were saying?
Thank you for curating that list.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's a good list.
I haven't seen any of those movies.
Any of them.
Really?
Yeah. So
Can I just recap them really quick?
Yeah, go for it.
The names? Okay.
For our listeners.
And I'll say the directors too, because I have these on here. There's Blind Spotting by Carlos Lopez Estrada. Boy by Taika Waititi. Snowpiercer by Bong Joon-ho. Booksmart by Olivia Wilde. And Waiting for Guffman, directed by Christopher Guest. Those are the ones you should watch.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. And they didn't have to be pandemic related. They're just, you got time, check them out.
Yeah. They're just A+, 5-star
What would you
rated movies.
tell people to check out? Don't watch The Kissing Booth 2. I read the book. It's nothing like the movie that's on Netflix.
See, we're circling back to that theme.
I would say watch The Umbrella Academy.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
It's technically a children's show, but it's called Kipo, which is a beautiful post-apocalyptic movie about this girl trying to find her father. They get separated, and they touch on a lot of really awesome things. They touch on things that you want children to learn as they get older, but they do it in such a way that you don't have to explain anything to your kids. Like, they leave it out there in a way that the kids are like, okay, yeah, that's, even though it's a post-apocalyptic cartoon, like, it's just applicable to the way that they interact with other kids and things like that. So it's really beautiful
you should
show.
name the one part that happens in it, though. Or is it a spoiler alert?
No, it's not, because they do it really quickly. So this girl meets this other human boy, and he's helping her out, and they go on this Ferris wheel, and she thinks that they're on a date, and she is like, I think I like you, and he goes, oh, I'm sorry, I'm gay. And then she's just like, oh, whew, okay. And like, it's this big stress reliever of like, then she just gets to appreciate their friendship.
Yeah.
And so it rather than creating this weird like, oh, wait, what? You like, ew. Like, there's nothing like that. It's just.
Totally normalizes it.
Yeah. It makes it so that it makes their relationship stronger, if anything, because she feels like she can rely on him that much more, which is really interesting. It leaves no room for resentment, which is how it should be.
Right.
Finding out that somebody isn't attracted to you shouldn't make you resent them.
Right.
Or that they, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this actually leads into the next thing that I wanted to talk about, which is heavy, and we sometimes get heavy on
Do
this
we have
show.
something silly after it then?
We get silly afterwards.
Okay.
I'm always down to
do
get
more
silly.
more improv stuff where you're a turkey in various situations.
I'm actually terrible at improv. Probably one of the reasons I stopped doing comedy.
The comedy scene is... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Just call me back. We'll restart it. Okay. Hey.
Hey, you rang?
I did ring. It's just for a very simple thing that actually your voicemail answered the question for me, because I'm on a podcast right now with my friends, and we were talking about Eugene Levy, but I was saying Eugene Levy, and they're like, that's not how you say his name. I'm like, yeah, it is. I have a friend named Rachel Levy. I'm going to call her right now and tell her that's how you pronounce it. And you didn't answer, but your voicemail said Rachel Levy. And I was like, ha, but I guess it's Eugene Levy. So whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we're one of the weirdos that says it that way. There's not a lot of us.
Well,
I thought that they pronounced it that way, though, too.
I always say Eugene Levy, but I mean, we did not look up a clip of Eugene Levy saying, hi, I'm Eugene Levy, but I'm pretty sure he does.
Hi, I'm Eugene Levy.
And I'm Dan Levy.
Yeah, I would double check that, though. Like, try to find one of them saying it, because I'm like 99% sure they're the only other family I know that pronounces it that way.
Eugene Levy.
And we think that maybe my Jewish side came down from Canada, so that would make sense to me, because it's because of the French. Because in German, French Jews pronounce it more like that. So I would check on it.
Okay.
Interesting.
Can we put this on the podcast? Are you comfortable with your name being on the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I don't know if that's okay. All right. Well, thank you for calling back. And
ask her if she has a business she wants to promote.
oh yeah, promote your book and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
She's a writer, a novelist.
Oh, really?
Oh.
What's it called?
The Hawthorne Throne.
The Hawthorne Throne by Rachel Levy.
Yeah, give us shut up. Just give us the quick spiel about it. I know you got it.
Well, so it's it's a prequel to the King Arthur legend, and it's reimagining it as a historical fantasy. So I did actual research into the Dark Ages and the Welsh myths that inspired King Arthur.
Oh my God.
So it's really low fantasy, more historical fiction. Yeah,
That's
super
awesome.
gay.
Super gay.
Super gay, yeah.
There's non-binary character in it as well.
Yeah, one of the characters is non-binary point of view, and then the other main character is a bi woman.
This doesn't happen in a lot of historical fiction or fantasy. So
are you a bionicle woman yourself?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Rachel.
You're welcome.
Tell Mo I miss her.
Oh, that was awesome.
I'm gonna have to find an interview where he introduces himself. That'll be for later.
I'll put the clip in
right here
of him saying
Eugene Levy.
So I've always said Levy too.
See, because I feel like I've heard him introduced as Eugene Levy as well.
Probably because people were saying it wrong.
I mean, maybe.
But it's happened on award shows.
Let's have him on the podcast.
We'll call him next time.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
What's his son, Dan?
Dan Levy.
That's an interesting point, though, that she brought
Oh,
up.
we could look up Dan Levy.
Why don't we just watch the Emmys?
I know, but they could introduce him incorrectly, too.
You're right.
Because John Travolta introduced that one lady as Nadim
Menzel. Something like that.
All right.
Okay, now into the comedy world. So when it comes to comedy, I thought that comedy was half figuring out how to write a joke, and the other half was dealing with your personal demons, in the sense that depression, anxiety, whatever things that ail you, if you had a bad childhood, so trauma, it was how do we make the shitty things that we've been through funny and consumable on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I went into it, there was this other part of the equation that I didn't consider and didn't realize. And I mean, I've always gotten along with women just as much as I have with men, so that dichotomy has never been weird to me. But finding out that, you have these comics who get this like sense of confidence, this sense of confidence because they're on a stage, even though it's an open mic stage. They get the sense of confidence because they're able to turn that thing into laughter, and they're complete strangers that they're able to get this thing from. Mm-hmm. Those individuals then carrying that, I hate to say false sense of confidence, but it kind of is.
Like infallibility.
Yeah. And carrying that over into the way that they communicate with other people. And the more comics that I would interact with, the more that I was finding out about this really shitty side of things. And this sense that, there's nothing we can do about it. And like the times that I tried to speak up for people, it would get me in trouble. And just learning about all of the horrible aspects of any sense of justice or any sense of closure for especially female comics, like it just was so depressing. And I mean, I would talk to Kim about it all the time. Like we had a guest on who talked about a comic who
off mic, who attempted to basically rape someone. Like they offered to give this girl a ride home. She was drunk and she fell asleep in the back of the car, and as she was coming to, this comic was trying to pull her pants off in the back of the car. And then on top of that though, like finding out comics, like if you don't want to date them for some reason, you're an asshole. Mm-hmm. Like that is just heartbreaking to keep hearing it. It just kept like I try not to get super worked up about it, but it's so heartbreaking because it felt so hopeless. Because I think too, you tried speaking out against somebody and it backfired on you, where you were getting like shit talked about you, and then it elevated that person even more, which is disgusting. And then it affected your future shows, even though you're not the one that did the wrong. It was this particular person. And
so the thing that like would upset me is any attempt to affront these individuals was met with a lot of backlash, or comics that would say, that's between you two. They would just step back, and it's a problem of mine, like this codependent issue that I have with like feeling like I have to insert myself to correct these injustices. But when it set in that like I really can't do anything, and the victims even saying like, look, don't say anything, it's not worth it, was twice the, I'm an empath too, so like twice the hurt of like, I hate going to these mics now knowing that I have to just pretend that you're somebody worth giving a shit about because you treat everyone so horribly, and apparently everyone knows, and no one's fucking doing anything. That's like when you shared your story about and then to see all of those comics sharing your post, I was like, dude, you are guilty. You are guilty. You're guilty. You're guilty. What the fuck are you guys? You're only doing this now because it's okay, and it's popular, and it's a way for you to be safe from the finger getting pointed back at you fuckers for like knowing that this shit was going on and refusing to do anything about it.
Yeah, it went unchecked for a very long time. And I think this pandemic kind of, just the timing of it was right, I guess. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know how much you've talked about it already on your, not at all.
Not a lot.
Really a lot.
I would love to just catch people up a little bit so they're not really super confused about what we're talking about.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sorry.
That's fine. I just was like thinking about it in the context of someone listening, like, what the fuck is he rambling about?
Yeah.
Essentially, the comedy scene's pretty toxic. And just as a lot of male-dominated fields can be, especially for women, it just, Like I was very involved in comedy when I lived in St. Cloud. I always felt safe around the comics there. I mean, comedy is inherently like it can get dirty and like gritty and things like that. And you do have to have a thick skin. Like people will, say mean things to you sometimes and you got to brush it off. Like people will heckle. You got to brush it off. And sometimes you'll run into other comics that either aren't very nice or they're a little bit inappropriate to you. But overall, I didn't really experience a lot of that in St. Cloud. But when I moved to Minneapolis and started doing open mics, it was just a different experience for me. And I, ran into some people who, I mean, the names have been out there, but like, I met him actually in St. Cloud is where I met him, but ran a really popular open mic and took an interest in my set and me, I thought, and pretty much said that if I ever wanted a spot on his open mic, I just had to like message him in advance and he'd let me on. And that was a really desired mic to be on. It's hard to get on there if you weren't brand new. And a lot of people went to it for the comedy. So he was in a position of power and he's made excuses like, I didn't know how much power I had, but you do. Like you do. When there's like new comics, especially ones who haven't really been on the scene a while, like they want stage time. And so I just thought that he legitimately thought that I had, like I was good and like I deserved to be on his stage. So I was excited about that. And I would like message him every once in a while about, oh, I said tonight was rough. And he would take that and turn it into a dirty comment back. Like, you got to get used to rough, LOL, winky face, creepy things like that. And I was like, this is not the relationship I thought that we had. Like I was so used to, talking to other comics in St. Cloud who would give me advice and not say gross things like that. So it really kind of turned me off right away. But at the same time, I didn't want to be like, dude, don't talk to me like that. Because I wanted to be on his mic. I didn't want to piss him off because he had so much influence in the scene. And if I suddenly become this bitch who like made him feel emasculated or, turned down his advances, I didn't want to just suddenly never be able to do Sisyphus or any other mic that he even went to. So I just kind of laughed it off and brushed it off. And it only happened a couple times, but it was enough to really turn me off and make me not want to go to mics. And I actually reached out to a friend who was also in the scene. I'm not going to name his name. It's out there, but I really, he's apologized and I do think he's genuinely a good person. And I think he's definitely learned from this and he's been really humbled by it. So, but I did reach out to him at the time and sent him screenshots and he basically just defended him. And that sat with me for a long time. And I didn't really tell anybody about it because I was like, this is just how it is. Like, I can't really reach out to anybody because everyone's just going to brush it off or say that is how it is. You got to grow a thick skin. Like, if you want stage time, just deal with it. And that just wasn't okay with me. And I just was like, I'm just not going to do it anymore. I don't know. It didn't really sink in until I started hearing other women's stories. And I'll be honest, like I didn't even really fully realize like what had happened until I read Shelley Paul's post on Twitter about things that had happened to her, then things that she'd had to deal with as a female comic. She just like made a list of shit she's put up with. And some of it seems so minor, but it's all like microaggressions that build up and build up and build up as a female comic that you just have to deal with. You have to deal with men just making offhand remarks about your body every time they're on stage. Comics coming up to you afterwards and flirting with you. This is something I dealt with a lot because a lot of my material was very sexual. They'd come up and just start talking to me like that. And that's actually not how I am at all in real life. Like on stage, I joke about sex and things, but in reality, I'm kind of a prude, like as far as like how I like to talk to people. And so it just really made me uncomfortable that people thought like my stage persona was who I was in real life. And that's not always the case. So she shared her story and I was like, you know what? Wow. The reason I stopped doing comedy was because of something like this and because it just kept perpetuating. And so I just like made a post about it because I just felt empowered to share that. And I thought maybe a couple of people would see it and think like, because I know I have a lot of friends like Chris and, a lot of male comics. So I just kind of wanted to like reach out to them. It was more about being like, hey, you could be person B. And if someone comes to you and brings up like, hey, this person's making me feel uncomfortable, step in and talk. Mm-hmm. And you've done that. And unfortunately, you've gotten backlash. But the more people that do it, the less backlash is going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's like why I posted it originally. It blew up. like way more than I thought it would. And his name came out right away. I didn't realize it would blow up because I didn't realize that he has been doing this for years since he started comedy. Multiple even seems like a small word.
Yeah.
I literally have at this point a folder on my phone full of screenshots from other women, stories from other women of just terrible things he said, situations that were almost identical to mine, many that were worse. And there were women who weren't even comics that he would do things like this to. And it's been going unchecked for so long because he was in this position of power and nobody wanted to piss him off.
Yep.
So, again, I never even intended for his name to get out. I really didn't. People have been like, yeah, you did. You wouldn't have posted it if you didn't want his name to get out.
If you wanted his name to get out, you would have just put his name in there right away.
But the fact of the matter is people recognized that behavior and said, he's done the same exact thing to me. And so they shared it with me. And some people just, there were people that just messaged me and were like, was that And I'm not going to lie to them and say I'm not. People would ask me who person B was or green, whatever. Yeah. And I wouldn't tell them because that wasn't the point. But I was like, honestly, at this point, 3 people have come forward and told me that done the same thing to them. So yeah, it was him. So anyway, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, so another thing that people don't talk about enough, and I don't even know if people know that this is a thing. So something that I learned over the last couple of years is the way that society has said that this shit happens so often, right? That you're gonna run into men who talk to you a certain way. You're gonna have to learn how to. So women who have been assaulted or who have been like had situations like yours, who because nothing's gonna happen to the other person, that they go, well, what's good about them? And so it's almost like Stockholm syndrome, where you even though you're the victim in this scenario, you're having to, so that you can live with what happened, find these good things and try to make it seem like, oh, that was just a one-off thing. They had a troubled childhood, and so that's why this happened, rather than people listening to what the fuck is happening. And that aspect was so heartbreaking to me, like to learn that the reason why a lot of women aren't coming forward, on top of the fact that nothing happens, it's because to deal with the trauma, they've had to create this narrative that, well, deep down they are a good person. Deep down they are this other thing. And that just fucking kills me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a messy situation too. And I think like if there wasn't a name that was so prominent in the Minnesota comedy scene that came forward in my story, like would people have even listened? Yeah. That's a kind of a heartbreaker too.
It is.
Because I could have just told my story and nobody could have known who those people that I blurred their names out were, and would that post have even been shared? You know what I mean? Like, I know Shelly would have shared it and other women might have shared it, but it seemed almost like suddenly it was like this witch hunt and people wanted names. People love, and people love throwing around the word cancel culture and throwing it around too. Like I literally have a screenshot of him asking him like, hey, what's going on? Like they didn't know what was happening, but he's like, just cancel culture coming for me. That's what he said. That was his, rather than saying like, I have really bad behavior and I've done shitty things and it's coming to bite me in the ass. It's cancel culture. Like that's such a throwaway thing. Like, oh, it's just people who want to cancel. Like, no. It's easier to get hyped about something when there's a face to it. Sure. For sure, especially when it's recognizable and everyone knows who you are. But so, I mean, I don't know.
And I like...
It's just like showing... Like I get so angry about this because of like, even with all this Epstein shit, it shows that men in power can do things for so long and get away with it. And it's just, it's disgusting. Yeah. Or I shouldn't even just say men in power, because there was women involved in that case too. Right. People in power can get away with really shitty things, and they then he throws cancel culture out at you. No, you did really shitty things to multiple people. And
for a long time.
And you don't seem apologetic about it. Well, now you are, because you're losing your mic.
Yeah.
Well, and this is only what they've been caught doing.
Oh yeah.
This doesn't show, like, there's no screen grab and I understand that I can't say
I don't go there.
Some of the things that he's been accused of by other women, but suffice it to say, if those individuals come forward, you're looking at some serious accusations.
And I was thanked by so many. It was just really bizarre to me because I haven't really been like in the scene for a while, and I've met so many women, comedians and comics, and even just like fans of comedy who have thanked me for telling my story. And it's just so weird because I didn't really feel like I had a story. It's like I literally just got a couple creepy messages from a guy, and then I had a friend that didn't like support me when I told him about it. Like that's it. Yeah. Like for me, that's pretty mild. But there are women who have experienced so much worse with him, and other people too. And just me coming forward and telling my story gave them the confidence to either tell their story or at least know that, wow, something actually did happen to me and that was not right. Yeah. And I'm glad that he's now facing consequences for it. But I
wonder if it was helpful to seeing other, granted, what you said, some of the people that were like sharing it were like, well, you've done this, but seeing all these people support it then maybe gave these other women the confidence to like, I'm going to speak out because I feel like now people are going to have my back too.
Well, and I think that like you keep saying like that your story isn't as bad as some of these other things. The difference though is that the consequences, like the risk was very high in calling that person out because the way that they talk is so recognizable and the type of shit that they say is so recognizable that even though you didn't say names, everyone knew.
And I didn't even know that. That's the thing.
So that's why people were so like empowered, is because you're going after one of the top heads and the consequences that could come onto you. Because not only do they run that mic, they're on a radio show weekly. They do this live Twitch feed thing. So they have a platform. The last time that fucking radio show came after us, we had family members that we hadn't heard from, friends that I hadn't heard from that were texting like, hey man, they're fucking blasting your name all over this radio show. Like, so the risk factor was huge. And
I wasn't aware of it though. Honestly, like I want to just really quick say, like, he in his original apology post was like, I can't even imagine how scary it was for this person to come forward. And I was like, honestly, wasn't scared of you. Like the fact that I haven't, you're one of the reasons I haven't been doing comedy, and I'm not like, I really have nothing to lose in this. Like I'm not doing comedy right now. If I never do it again, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I love doing it. I would love to do it again, but there are so many women that are doing this, trying to have it as a career.
Yeah.
They can't say anything for what might happen. What's going to happen to me? Okay, maybe I just can't do an open mic ever again. Whatever. I just felt like there's really nothing I have to lose for this. So I don't feel like I was being brave. I really don't. But when I think about it, I'm like, I really am glad I said something because of the women who have come to me and said, thank you. Because they couldn't say anything, and it gets me emotional thinking about it.
I know, dude. It's hard for me to talk about.
I read your post, and when Chris got home from work that night, I'm like, "Did you read Mackenzie's post?" And he goes, "I know who it is." And I go, "Who?" And right away he named it because of other shit he has heard too about this person.
We literally, me and three other comics were talking about him just the night before. We were like, God, I wish I could say the other things because there's such worse things that have.
I know that too, and I'm not going to say them either because the people that's their story, and they clearly do not feel comfortable talking about it, and I understand why.
Obviously, there's trauma behind it too.
Yeah. Yes,
having to relive. Yeah.
That's the other thing. Like, you can't expect. Like, I even though I want it so bad, but. I can't imagine.
And when they bring about the stupid cancel culture shit, it's like you caused trauma to people. You caused years and years of trauma for some people.
That doesn't go away.
And that doesn't go away. Like, do you not understand the things that you have done to people? Yeah, you should be canceled. Because now these people, who knows if they're going to therapy and they're paying for therapists. They're afraid to be in relationships with other people. They're afraid to go to comedy, something they used to enjoy. You fucked up all these things. You should be canceled at the end of the day.
The chipping away at your character, people don't understand how easily that happens. and how that then makes you question other aspects of your life. I hate this whole sense like, oh, you're just being sensitive. No, man. If you feel like the place that brings you joy is now being ripped away from you, that you've got to like the way that he feels like he's lost his mic. Imagine having every voice that you thought that you could lean on around you telling you to deal with it.
I lost all my mics, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Yeah.
You lost your mic. I didn't feel comfortable going to any. So.
Yeah.
You still have your radio show that you can
I was just going to say,
on.
yeah, he still has his radio show. He still has his following that it like those people.
And I have a message for this radio show.
I have lots of messages.
I've got some words. I listened to part of the episode where was on to explain himself, and I was disgusted that they gave him that platform. First of all, no one contacted me and asked me to be on the show.
Yep.
No one reached out to me and asked me how I would feel about it. They didn't ever say my name, which is appreciated, I guess, because they have a ridiculous fan base who will attack anybody who
anybody.
Like, they're just like little hyenas. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but it's true. Like, they don't have to do any kind of research about anything. As soon as one of them says a bad word about somebody, they're attacking them. So I knew they would come after me if they said anything, as you've experienced. But yeah, there was just a lot of excuses, and I do think that at one point did tell him, like, don't downplay your influence, which I appreciated, but ultimately I had to turn it off. I couldn't even listen to it because it was sickening to me to just see three dudes, two of whom have done pretty shitty things, maybe all three, I don't know, like,
yeah,
wouldn't be surprised,
just talk about this. Like, they can say anything. I don't know, it's like you literally can't say anything. I don't know.
Well, the other terrifying thing, so like all of that to say, all of these things, the other terrifying thing that happened though was the next day we found out that our friend, there's a strong chance that they have done the unspeakable as well. Mm-hmm. And trying to feeling so empowered and being on cloud nine for this stuff, and then to get hit with that like an hour after I got home was like, I didn't understand why people would like defend Louis C.K. or like people that would defend, because it was like, it seemed so obvious. Yeah. But then that massive gray cloud, like this area of gray that I was just like, I didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. And then that whole concept that I was talking about where victims trying to find the good aspect of this person, like making excuses to try and be able to live just a normal life, to be able to go out in public and not be terrified of seeing this individual. Like, I can't imagine the manipulation on yourself that you have to do to be able to be okay with what happened to you. It was so much to deal with, and that radio show fucking blasted me for not jumping on it right away. And it was just hard because a few days before he was playing with my kids. Yeah. Like, this wasn't just some random person. This was my the fact that I know you is.
But the thing is they also shouldn't come out blasting you, because they obviously support this person who's done really, 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 really horrible things.
I think it's just because I've gone on such self-righteous tangents, and I've made it seem like I'm virtue signaling and shit like that they were like, oh, well, what the fuck, man? You either are this person or you're not. And so if I'm not blasting this individual, and we legally can't use this individual's name anymore because they've had to go to court and do things. So the same reason that they can't say his name is the same reason that I can't say his name.
They definitely said his name.
They
maybe
did,
not on the show,
but now they can't do it on the show anymore because there's
a big difference between these two situations also, in that that was one incident.
Right.
That, is something that needed to go to court, apparently. Evidence, yada, yada. I'm not saying I don't believe it. I believe victims.
Yeah.
Like I do. I can't not, know?
We've said it on this podcast before, is that you have to believe the victim, because even though not all men rape, the majority that do rape are men.
Yep.
Like, it's
the thing is, it's too evidence. Like, there's so, how do you, like with proving sexual assault, if you don't talk about it until years later, literally, do you have the evidence? Like when people are like, you have to prove things, I will always believe a victim.
Well, and I was going to say, if there's going to be casualties on one side, it is far better to go on the victim side of things, because let's say you're wrong about one guy. That's one guy. If a man who has done these things, so like, let's say got off and everybody believed him, that's dozens and dozens of women who are being thrown under the bus instead of one person. Like, the casualties that potentially could happen, there's far more casualties if you don't believe the victim than if you do believe the victim. So I'm always like, if somebody's going to get fucked over, there will be way less men that get fucked over than the amount of women that get fucked over in those situations.
Yeah, it's tough because it's not black and white, at all. So I appreciate that you actually like put thought and emotion into it, and understand that yes, people you love and people can do really awful things, and it's heartbreaking. It really is. And it's hard to deal with. Like, how do you deal with knowing that somebody that you really trust and are close with can do something so terrible? I don't know. It is a grieving process for sure. And then at the same time, like, how can you still be a friend to them? Can you still be a friend to them? And I think that you can be, but you also need to realize that there's other people in the equation too who have trauma now and are dealing with that. And how is you showing them support, the abuser support, hurting the victim more? So it's, I don't know. I dealt with it too, because I was literally talking with this person about the situation, like back and forth. And I even told him in the conversation, I was like, I know you've not always been perfect. I didn't know about this situation at the time, but I remember saying to him, like, you do not have a perfect past. I have seen you do some dumb things, but you have definitely made improvements over the years. And I have personally seen you grow and become better. And unfortunately, his past came out and it came into the light. And even though he has grown as a person and has become a better person, he has to deal with the consequences of what he did in his past.
And we've talked about this in like the sobriety realm. When you're in heavy use, you commit acts that you can't take back. And even though you're sober, it doesn't mean that everything is now perfect. Those things still happened, and all you can do is continue to do better, but you're not safe from the things that you did in the past. And you have to be willing to accept that and do what you can to make things better in the long run. Because in the short term, sure, comedy is out the window. But in the long term, you as a person, the relationship that you're in, the family that you can cultivate, can still be incredibly meaningful, and you can still live they're young, they still have quite a lot of life left to live. And
I get it.
Word vomiting now. But anyways, so last thing we got here.
I know, I keep staring
segment
at them.
in 3, 2,
are we
1. I mean, we gotta end light.
Wait, that was just a really like a little harsh left turn.
I had to get out of there. It was starting to like fucking destroy my brain. Oh, okay. So it's time for everybody's favorite segment.
Imagine being a victim.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing that drives
Sorry,
me
I had
the
to go
most
back
crazy.
there. So.
Needed some sort of conclusion.
Okay. We have
Swedish? Oh, I'll let you read it.
yeah.
Okay.
Mackenzie, you picked out a snack.
Yeah, they gave me.
Are you Swedish?
I am very Swedish. I don't. They gave me some snack options, and I grabbed this one immediately because I have a doll horse tattoo, and I have doll horse. Is there a which one?
All of them.
These are Swedish.
Is that
doll
why you like
horse.
IKEA too a lot?
I mean, who doesn't like IKEA?
I know, it's beautiful.
Yeah, my family is very Swedish. I actually have a relative, I believe his name was Johan Svanson, who came...
Get the fuck out of here.
Who came to America and changed his name to John Swenson or John Swanson.
Johan Svanson?
Johan Svanson. Johan Svensson. My mom's going to kill me for not knowing which one it is, but she doesn't listen to podcasts.
So what you do is you grab, and then we're going to smell...
And then eat it.
I'm going to imagine these are going to be very similar to... Swedish fish probably, but yeah, so family's very Swedish. I have a dollar horse tattoo, so I gotta match the candy here.
Yay!
It's so funny. My boyfriend, how many do I grab? Can I one of each color?
You grab what you want, girl.
My boyfriend's family is 50% Mexican, like his dad's side of the family, and his sister, when she first met me,
I was opening up so you can.
She looked at my tattoo and she's like, "Oh, I love your tattoo. Is that a piñata?"
Oh, that's...
It's like, oh, honey, we are from different cultures. But, man, I love them.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab one of each color.
Okay. I guess I didn't realize there were even different...
Look at that. That is so cute.
Oh,
Swedish
that's
too.
awesome.
Okay, so these are from IKEA.
They are.
They don't really
Yeah, I was
have
gonna
a
say.
strong smell. They're kind of firm.
Yeah.
They're like
Very gelatin.
very...
They're like Swedish fish when you leave the bag open a little too long. All right.
Oh, you
going
ready?
yellow.
I'm red. Oh, I just bit the head off.
That makes sense. Ooh. I like it.
No, I'm personally not like a gummy candy fan. The only gummy candies I really like are the Lifesaver gummies, but they're very soft. And I do like Swedish fish on occasion, and these are very similar to Swedish fish. But Swedish fish have this really unique flavor to them that kind of
there's no added high fructose corn syrup in it.
Oh, wow. They're really sticky.
Oh,
And
man.
it's non-GMO.
They're really sticky.
Very sticky.
I think I have to go to the dentist after this.
No synthetic
God,
colors.
that's delicious, actually. It is. It's
0 grams of fat.
It does remind me of like Lifesavers and kind of like that jelly bean flavor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what kind of sugar is in it? Beet sugar.
Wow.
Beet sugar. Have you seen Eurovision?
Yes.
Hilarious.
That was fun.
That would be on my top 5 list to watch.
Why don't you go make sex party? I will go make sex party. Sex party with Ethan. Yeah, I fucking loved it.
That was a funny, don't have to
The
think
red
about
one's
movie.
good.
Now, I don't like orange and grapefruit, so I'm a little concerned about this one, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway.
Orange wasn't terrible.
You can usually do, like, artificial orange, but you said this is all natural.
Chris does not like bananas, but likes artificial banana.
Because it's not banana. It's a fake banana.
But fake banana is weird and, like, numbs your mouth.
I guess I never thought of that. But banana popsicles, I fucking love them.
Root beer and grape popsicles.
Oh. Dude, the ones with the like the ice cream in the center of it.
Stop it. Root beer float ones. Oh my
Fucking
gosh.
love it.
I need to find a cheese curd stand.
God.
Well, these are delicious. You can find them at IKEA.
Are you going to get someone to go
Dollar
to IKEA
horse.
next time?
Maybe.
The Swedish dollar horse.
Yeah, I'm definitely a chocolate. I like chocolate.
So we had a chocolate yesterday. I wish Layla wouldn't eat them all.
No, there's a whole nother thing left.
Snacks, Burt.
Hi, I'm Eugene Levy.
This raises the question that we used to ask guests all the time. It's the Bill Gates question.
Oh, I was like, don't ask that question.
You don't like the Bill Gates question? Okay. But no, the Bill Gates question is, so Bill Gates comes crashing in and he's like, oh shit, don't worry, I'll fix that. But Mackenzie, I'm here for you. I'm going to give you any amount of money you want to start a business, and I will continue to fund that business so that you never lose money. What business would you have, and where in the world would you have it? This could be a fart factory in Louisiana. It can be whatever you want. You will never lose money, but it has to be a business.
Oh, funny you should say it, because this is already in the works for me. We're in very beginning stages, but
I love this.
Yeah, I am gosh dang creative. I created this guy a long time ago, back when I first got my iPad and didn't know what I was doing. Have improved significantly, so if you ever need a rework.
Since that?
I think so.
Oh, awesome.
I do love those.
That.
I love those.
Yeah.
I need to commission you for something.
I hate drawing people if I don't know them. I love drawing people that I know. I liked doing that because I know your faces and feel like I could get a likeness, but there have been times where I'll be commissioned to draw people who I've never met and can only go by pictures.
That's
and
hard.
I struggle really hard with that, because so much of like people's likeness is, I guess, like their facial expressions and things. And I don't know, like I feel like I did an okay job.
Yeah. I look at
you
Chris's
nailed it.
cartoon character and I want to make out with him all the time. I'm like, that character is hot.
But back to Bill Gates here, I would love to just have like an art business and sell prints and t-shirts and bags and pins and stickers and things like that. And that's totally within reach for me, but it would be really nice to have like a studio space that I could just go to and feel like I'm at work, and, you know, have the money to have as many prints as I need, and, you know, nice machinery, like a nice printer, and not have to go through, like, just print it myself. Mailing solutions, things like that.
Where would you have it?
I'd probably stay here in Minneapolis. Like, my family's here. I don't really see myself moving anywhere.
But you could move your family.
I probably would move them out to Seattle. My dad's been trying to push, and I've never even been to Seattle, but I know, like, I just know I would love it. Like, I love that weather. I love that. I have friends that live out there. I've got friends that live up in British Columbia on Victoria that I could visit. Like, I have people out there that I know, and all of them are like, if you come here, you're never going to want to leave.
I think that's why I don't want to visit out in Oregon and Washington too, because if I fall in love with it, I'm not going to stop thinking about it. I used to want to move to LA really, really bad. And then you hear all this shit that's going on in Hollywood, and now I'm over it.
Yeah. My dad, winters are hard for the farming community, and having goats in the winter, they're all very fat and pregnant. And my dad has constantly been like, you should just move out to Washington so that your mom will want to follow you. And then we can move the goat farm out there, and like winters will be way less harsh. And I'm like, maybe, but now my brother has a child.
I was going to say, I thought, you're an aunt.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I've got a niece now here, and I don't see them moving ever. So I don't think my mom's ever going to, I'm going to have a couple kids.
I was going to say, you're going to have one more than they do to make it work. Yeah. Or you can have babies, because you'd have Swedish,
Mexican babies.
Swexicans.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Fantastic. We should just start saying, we should start throwing gosh darn creative or gosh dang.
Gosh dang.
Gosh
that was
dang.
something I even I workshopped that too, to see what people like. When I made my logo, it's actually like censored out. It's like G with the like asterisk, money sign, pound sign, and then D with the at and blah blah blah, and creative at the bottom. And I sent it to a few people. I was like, what is the name of this company? And some people said gosh darn creative. About as many that said gosh dang creative. So I'm a little worried that people are going to mix them up. But dang is way more fun to say than darn.
It is really fun. I do like
gosh
dang.
dang.
Gosh dang. You're creative.
Word. Okay. Well, so beyond gosh dang creative, is there anything else that you'd like to promote? Is there social medias and things of that nature?
I mean, I'm gosh dang creative on Instagram. I don't think I have a Twitter right now. I'm on Facebook too, so it'll be really cool. I haven't been posting on Instagram a lot, but that's going to change once I catch up on my commissions, and I'll start posting some of those. I just feel bad. I don't want to like post work when there's people waiting on work. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm in a really weird mental block.
Being a photographer, it's the same. Like if I post photos from this session I did, but I did a wedding 2 weeks ago and I haven't posted any previews. What's the person in the wedding gonna think?
I also like my commissions are closed at the moment.
Yeah.
And I don't know when you're gonna post this, but they're not gonna open back up again until I'm caught up, and I still have quite a few left to do.
It'll be a little while.
Sure.
We've got 3 in the can, so we've got 2 more to record, and then these will and maybe we could get you help on this. So we release episodes on Tuesday and Wednesday right now. And I'm not sure if I want to start releasing stuff on Thursday or release stuff on Monday. So would it go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Or would it go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
I don't know, because I never listen to podcasts the day they come out, because I'm not a podcast listener.
So then
I'm really behind on mine, so I would not be a good person to ask.
So, but that makes sense, because you're even less likely to get caught up if it is released closer to the weekend.
I would say think. Monday.
Okay, maybe Monday. So at any rate, by the time this comes out, it'll either be Monday or Thursday, and then every Monday or Thursday, whatever fucking day. So there will be 3 different shows that you can listen to throughout the week. And go to our merch store. Share these episodes.
Yeah, I'm gonna just a little plug for my BF too.
Oh yeah, go. Yeah.
he's Death Electro. That's his solo project. Like him on Facebook. I think he's on Instagram too. He's a really talented musician. His name's Christian Pastrana. Very good stuff. He's got a My Chemical Romance cover. The World is Ugly from Danger Days. So like I said, he's into that.
That's funny.
But he's also in a band called Waste if you're into like metalcore, hardcore stuff. So listen to Waste. And then he's a bassist for Vermilion Heights that a few of my good friends are in. So you like Vermilion Heights?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the show I went to. Vermilion Heights is playing, Taco House is playing, a couple other bands that I'm into.
Shit. Wait, what was it?
Christian. He's the bassist in Vermilion Heights. I like how your man buns in this camera the whole time.
Has it been Oh no!
Scoot over, let's see it.
Is it really?
Yeah. Wait. Ready? There it is.
It's just in the corner.
I thought I had it. God damn it! Oh well. So I don't know if you remember, but the last thing that we do on the show is our listeners are called ducklings.
Oh.
So we say, but you can say it in Turkey. So. Au revoir, little ducklings, quack, quack.
Au revoir, little ducklings, quack, quack.
Au revoir, little ducklings.
Good job.